Hi, I'm Jeff with Precision Replacement Parts. I'm here with Greg today. We're going to be working on a 1966 Corvette. Greg, what are we doing?
We'll be installing the WBL D636 windshield gasket. Year span would be 63 to 67, Chevy Corvette two-door coupe.
Tools in the R. Let's get started.
So wipers are spring-loaded, so I've got this to protect the paint of the car, and I'm pushing up with the pry tool, and I will be pushing down with the palm of my hand. Our next step is to remove the trim. I've got my trim removal tool going along the body, finding the clips, getting the tip behind the chrome clip, and I rotate the tool, releases the clip. Again, another clip, rotate it, and releases the chrome. Here I'm illustrating what you cannot see what's going on under the chrome. Along the body, tip of the tool comes up to the clip, and I rotate it, opens that, and releases the chrome. So I'm done with that one, and I go again right to the next one, and so on and so forth. The next step is to remove the outer edge of the rubber gasket. Taking a utility knife, I'm cutting along parallel with the glass, the outer lip of the gasket to expose the glass edge. The next step would be to release the glass from the inside of the gasket. Just was using a hook tool to accomplish that process. Now we will be removing the Phillips screws that retain the interior molding, and this is along the perimeter of the windshield. The reason we're doing so is to aid in the installation of the windshield. Now we're going to remove the remaining portion of the gasket. There is some additional sealer from the previous install that we're going to cut with our fingers. We've covered the defroster ducts so we don't get any debris or sealant down inside there to protect that portion. Now this is a non-hardening sealant that was used last time, so that's why we're taking care not to get all over the interior of the vehicle. Now our next step would be to remove the excess that's left over so we get a nice clean install. We're using our Weatherstrip tool to remove that, and you can either use a pulling method or we have the chisel end, and you can kind of chisel that off of the vehicle. The plastic is non-marring, so we don't have to worry about damaging the vehicle at the same time. Alright, and after we have the bulk of the sealant off, we're going to use a little solvent on a towel. Clean anything off the outside of the car. We're going to use the same process on the chrome trim as we did on the body to remove this sealant. All right, when you receive your gasket, if you have the opportunity, what you can do is take it out of the packaging. And then the process would be to stretch it out, either setting into the sun, or you could use a hair dryer or a heat gun and help it relax from the packaging state. What we'll do is we'll install the gasket on the glass. That'll also stretch it out after that to release that form of being coiled. All right, so this molding has two molded corners. We're going to start in the corner by installing it on the glass. We're going to start that lower lip, and then we're going to roll it up onto the glass to get it fully seated. See, we start that bottom lip, and then we roll it. The next step is to put our rope into the gasket. We're going to use our rope installation tool. We're going to start at the bottom. As we make our way around. Now this rope is going into the pinch weld groove of this gasket. Now we're getting to the area where we started the rope insertion. I'm going to go past that, which will actually cross the ropes. Bring the tool out into the windshield. And the reason we cross the ropes, I'll indicate when we install the glass into the car. Get everything taped in place. Now we are going to be applying a non-hardening sealant to the sealing surface of this gasket. And what this will do is prevent water from entering the vehicle. This is about a quarter inch cut tip. Again, it's non-hardening because you want this seal to stay pliable. Putting it, we're putting it on the sealing fin area of the gasket, which is next to the pinch weld groove that we inserted the rope into. We've attached the glass handlers to the glass. We're going to bring the glass, gasket, and rope assembly over to the car. We're going to set it in. We're not trying to install anything at this point in time. We're just trying to set it into the car, get it somewhat squared up. We want to make sure that we're clearing all of our clips, making sure this gasket is setting in between them. Now we've moved to the inside of the car. We'll remove the handle off the glass. Now we'll start pulling the rope inside. Now this is where the overlap of those ropes comes into play. Pulling both ropes at the same time, it brings over that whole section. Pulling the rope in. Keeping parallel to the glass. Pulling that lip over the pinch weld. Jeff has slight pressure on the outside, so that lip engages over the pinch weld. The gasket has come off the glass on the outside a little bit, so Jeff was using a hook tool to reset that before we proceed. On the bottom corner. After we pull a rope in, we're going to pull that gasket over the pinch weld to make sure that stays seated. bottom to get all the whole bottom set onto the pinch weld before we proceed to the top. Come up to the corner, it may give you some resistance. So just be patient, work it around. We're gonna cut through our tape that was kind of holding the gasket in place on that radius. Again, pulling that gasket around the pinch weld. Coming into the end, pulling all the rope inside. Now we'll just verify that the gasket is seated on the inside. And we've got the gasket and glass installed into the car with the non-hardening sealant between that. Now we're going to seal between the glass and the gasket with the hardening urethane adhesive. We've got the tip cut to, again, about 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch. I'm using the tip to separate the gasket from the glass. And that's the gap that we're in putting this adhesive into. The next step would be to clean up the excess urethane. I have 2 pairs of gloves on. One gets so dirty, I can just peel off the outside. We're going to use a razor blade. We're going to use foaming glass cleaner. Run a razor blade right along the edge of the gasket, removing the excess urethane. The next step will be to reinstall the chrome. Now, we've gone ahead and cleaned all the old sealant that was on there. And the reason being is that you want the chrome retention. And if the sealant's in the way, that's going to cause an issue. Especially this lip on the chrome is where the clip engages and has to hold it down. So we'll set it up to the car. Get it lined up. It's just a motion of pressing that lip down between the clip and the body. In this particular instance, what we're going to do is we're going to center the top piece using the chrome corners as guides. We want to make sure that our chrome lip is between the clips and the body. I'll go ahead and press it into place. Sometimes you may hear it engage, other times you may just feel it engage. You want to double check to make sure that it is held down. Just take a finger, pull it up, make sure it's intact. In this corner we have some clips that are fastened to the body that align with these tabs on the chrome. We'll get them lined up, insert it between the clip and the body, press it in place, interlock it with our chrome. Now we'll go do the other side. We've gone ahead and installed our interior trim with the Phillips screws just as we removed it. Now we're going to move to the outside and reinstall our wiper arms. Now again, they're spring loaded, and we've made a note before removal that the driver's side is under the passenger side. We'll go ahead and roll them on to the splined hubs, press down, make sure they're fully seated, and you're done.